Welcome to another video of SnowRunner. In this one we are repairing a bridge in the same location as we put a pontoon bridge in across the river earlier in a previous video. So now we're actually repairing the bridge so it will be usable. At the moment I'm heading over to the warehouse at the barge port to pick up a 40-foot container. This job requires 2 containers. I've already delivered the first one, so now I'm going back for the second container. So we're just heading around. There's a bit of a mountain range there, so the best route is to go around it. This part here is quite tricky. I've had a couple of rollovers in previous videos here, just trying to work out the best way through this area, trying to avoid the undulations that'll tip the truck over. Just passing through this oil facility. As you can see, the oil pipeline on the left. This route we're taking now is a relatively good way to go. It's not too bad apart from that last tricky part, but once you work out the best way through it, it's not too bad. If you've watched any of my previous ones, you might also notice I've changed the trailer. The last one, which was a drop side style trailer, was very unstable and swayed around way too much. So because I had to make my way back to the garage, I decided to stop in at the trailer shop and get rid of the other one, and chose this 5-slot flatbed. I'm using the trusty Royal BM. While I was at the garage, I decided to give it a bit of a different paint job, just to mix it up a little. So we have a yellow and burgundy paint job. Did a bit of damage back there in that rocky outcrop. Just making our way down off the side of the mountain towards the tarmac. Just taking it steady in low range. Back onto the tarmac now. Bit of an in-cab view. Just about at the port now. As you can see ahead there. Just a quick turn around here to park at the loading dock. A logging trailer there that I parked, which I'll be needing again soon for a upcoming mission to get some more logs to take to the sawmill and get cut into planks. So we have our container now, heading off back the same way we came. Up in the top right corner there, you'll see what's required for this task. So we've already delivered one of two oversized cargo, which is these 40-foot containers. Then we still have 4 pallets of concrete blocks and 2 bundles, I suppose you'd call it, of steel beams, which are virtually a double-sized pallet. Just taking it out as wide as I can to allow the trailer to make the turn. Just heading back up this mountain trail, back in low range with the diff locks on. Fairly straightforward track, luckily. See that oil pipeline up ahead of us as we head back down to where we were when we turned off away from the pipeline. Hard to avoid sometimes those slight touches and small amount of damage that you do while trying to take the trailer out wide enough to avoid objects. Luckily the damage is not too severe to affect the truck in any way. Just taking it easy. Here we are at the pipeline. Make a right here and head towards the refinery. Still in low range as we navigate the snow and now the mud. There is only so fast you can go through all this terrain. Even if you had it in a normal gear, you still can't push through at any speed, so by putting it in low range you're basically going at the same speed, but also you're saving fuel. You're not burning through fuel by having to keep the hammer down to push a taller gear. It is quite hard to regulate your throttle on the controller. You quite often find yourself just slowly squeezing the trigger more and more, and then you have to just realise what you're doing and just ease off, just so you can save a bit of fuel. Here we are back at that sketchy area. Still getting a fair bit of lean on that trailer at times. Just here is starting to lean, so I just put the pedal down and drove through it. I thought if I backed off it, the trailer might tip over, so just gave it the jandle. Just about at the work site. Making my way through a bit of ice and slush there. Just coming up to the drop-off zone. Deliver the cargo and it disappears. So that wasn't too bad at all, that quick trip for that container. So I decided I may as well go across the river and head over to get those metal beams. Trusty Paystar on the left there. Trying to visualise a safe way through the ice. See how the ice shows a bit of depth with its cracks, whereas on the right just there, that's excuse me, a bit nasty. They definitely like to throw plenty of obstacles at you in this game. Can see a bit of a path there where it's solid. Coming up to where it's not, but there doesn't seem to be much of a solid path through just this small portion here over onto the track. But it's not too bad. Just heading under another bridge construction site. I think the repair of that bridge is excuse me, coming up in a future mission. Not too far now to go to the next warehouse. There we have the warehouse up ahead. Here we are at the loading dock. We just grab some 2 loads of metal beams. We head off back into the snow. Just taking it easy back along this track. Fuel's getting down a little bit, but we definitely have plenty to get back to the construction site. Just using the winch here to help get me through that boggy area. The winch is definitely easier to use from an inside the cab view for some reason. When you try to hit the winch out from an external view, it can go in all sorts of directions, usually to the closest location or tie-off point, which can be off to the right or to the left. But when you're inside the cab and you use the winch, it tends to go straight in front of you, which is what you want at the end of the day, because you're trying to draw yourself through wherever you are. External is better when you get in tricky situations where you have to winch in a specific direction, or sometimes you need to pull the trailer around to get through an area. So from an external view, you can choose your point on the truck you want to tie off, and then actually choose where in the landscape you want to tie off to do what needs to be done. But for normal travelling through any heavy snow or mud, the in-car is inside the cab is definitely a better view to use for the winch. With these mod trucks as well, you get a better, some trucks you have a choice in the length of the cable you carry, so that can come in handy as well. With a lot of the stock winches in particular, they're often quite short, so you can get stuck in a position where you need winching, but there's no tie-off points close enough for you to use. Not far to go now, just about back at the construction site. Just about there now, ready to unload. Then all we need to get is the concrete blocks. Another load done. Just destroyed the workers' lunch table. Someone's not going to be happy about that. And there we have it for another video. Thanks again for joining me, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.